Right, so tonight I am all Nortented up, and I know I'm a little late to the table when it comes to Nortent. There's a million and one videos out there on the Vern one, but I've got a couple of other pieces of equipment from Nortent. One that I know you definitely haven't seen before, it's not even really out yet, and the other one is a different version of what you may have seen. So stay tuned and I'll show you them when I get to camp. And right at the bottom here we have sleeping bag. Now this is a big old lump. This is the Lyng, it's the 4-season one, so this is the -20 bag, total overkill for tonight. It's forecast to get down to around 1 degrees, but I'm going to be in here naked, bar maybe mere boxers and possibly thermals. I'll see how it goes. It's going to be nice not to be bundled up with other clothing on. So I'm going to test it out and I'll show you it. There's a few videos out on the -5, but none that I've seen of the -20. And this is a -20 comfort rating, so that is the minimum. The limit is -25 and the extreme is -30. But this is a very over-engineered bag. They haven't gone into this for being lightweight. It weighs around 1.8 kilos, but it's got 1.2 kilos of down in it. DWR, water repellent down, ethically sourced as well. You can even scan a barcode on the sleeping bag and it will tell you where that down has come from. But really feature packed bag, incredibly warm obviously, lofts up massively, and I'll show you that in a bit, but fits at the bottom of my bag. So the next bit that I'm going to take out, the only bit I'm going to take out because I've just got my down jacket in here as well, is right down the bottom here, miles away, is the new Nortent sleep mat. Now this is not actually out yet, it's on their website, it's not available to order. I pumped this up at home. It is incredibly comfortable. I cannot bottom out on it. I've even pushed my elbow, my entire weight, into a hard solid wood floor. Couldn't get to the bottom of it. It's 11 centimeters thick, I believe, 198 long, 68 wide. So it's a really big, wide mat. But the pack size is really good. Very decent pump sack with it. Again, over-engineered. It's velcroed, so it just tucks away nicely. But it's the pack size that I'm more concerned about over the weight. This isn't the lightest mat. I think the mat on its own weighs about 740, 750 grams, and it's just over 800 with the actual pump sack. But I'll put this up in the tent and I will show you it. It is really comfortable. And unlike most of Nortent's gear, it's actually really cheap. So as you've probably seen from the thumbnail, I'm out in the Vern 1 tonight. This is not a review of it. This is simply to see if I can fit in it after my last camp where I tried out the QU Stormstar. And it just wasn't quite big enough and I wanted something storm worthy. I did reach out and said if anyone's got a Vern one they want to send me, then please do. And I just want to say a massive thank you and a big shout out to Fellman Dave. You've probably seen his videos. I'll put a link in the description below for his channel. But he does some very good thorough reviews on pretty much all of the Nortent gear. So I'm using his tent tonight, but from me and him chatting, I've been contacted by Nortent now as well, and they've sent me out the sleeping bag and the sleep mat to test out, and I've also got the Lyng-20 coming as well. So I'm going to be trying that out hopefully in a couple of weeks time. Then I'll get the tent up and I'll come back to you in a bit. The tent is up. Bit of a faff, just getting used to it. She's nice and solid. Right, I'm going to get my gear inside, show you what it looks like in there, and see whether or not I can fit in it. Okay, first off, I'm pretty impressed with the amount of space that's in here. I haven't got the mat set up, I'm not laid down yet, but sitting in here it's pretty comfortable. My head is just on the top. I tend to slouch forward a bit, so I think with my mat, it's going to be close. I'm not really that fussed about headroom though. I tend to lay down in these sorts of tents and cook on my side. It's rare that I'm sitting upright, so I'll get this mat set up now. I'll show you. Now this thing is a 7R value. It's ASTM verified, so it's a legit 7R value mat. It's massive and it's incredibly comfortable. And it's $120. Which when you look at Nortent gear, it's not cheap, right? But, you know, like Hiddeberg, you get what you pay for. And when you're going through these things in fine details, you really notice the difference in the sort of the build quality and the over-engineering and the materials that they use. So it's horses for courses, it's down to your budget. But this, I think, for a first foray into the sleeping mat market, is incredibly budget, but seems very good. I'll get it up and I'll show you. So if you have, say, a flex towel tiny pump 2X that you're going to use as a lantern as well as a pump, then yeah, you could do without the pump bag and then just carry this, save yourself, I don't know, 50-60 grams maybe. Got a little strap on it as well, and then just your usual normal inflate deflate valve. I have held this up to the light and you can probably see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but the insulation goes pretty much up to the sides. But what I found with this is it's very square-sided, and I think that gives it a lot more comfort, similar to the new Thermarest one that's out that is very big and very heavy, but people are raving about the comfort of it, and I think this is probably the Nortent equivalent version. Okay, so this is the Nortent Torv sleep mat, and as I said, I believe it's 198 centimeters long, which is making me excited because there's a few inches of space at that end and a few inches of space at that end. 68 centimeters wide, so it is pretty much the width of the tent at the head and foot end. But if you look at the sides there, it's like a square-sided mat, and it's really firm and really comfortable. And also it's got a top to bottom baffle system, but it's dimpled. You can't really see it here, but it has a dimpled effect on it as well, which makes it really comfy. So welcome to episode 2 in the series, will I fit in that bloody tent? Right, let's try this out. Now admittedly with no sleeping bag at the moment. Ooh, this mat is very comfy. Now my feet are just touching the ends. Hat off. Let's do my hair. It's close. I like these door toggles, but the door's in the way of the camera. My head is without a pillow. It's very close. It feels spacious in here. It might work, but I'm not sure. It's just that angle at the end, the slope that comes up off of it. Now I know you can pull the poles in to make it more structurally rigid. So instead of the sides or the ends going like that, they come up a bit, so there's more of an arc to the poles, which in theory shortens the length of the inside of the tent, but it steepens the angle of the wall. And the length of the inside of the tent is not a problem. There's about 8 inches past my feet and probably 4 inches past my head. It's just the angle. This might work with a little bit of playing about. So yeah, my head's just brushing the top. I haven't got a problem with that. That's not the issue. Loads of vestibule space. Love the vestibule space. I like the tent in general. It feels nice, feels solid, lots of pockets, ventilation, double door, so I can have that fully vented. Let's get a sleeping bag out and I'll show you it. Just had to run and chase my hat. It blew off while I was just trying to take a wind reading. So it's sort of averaging about 20 mile an hour, gusts of 22, 23 mile an hour. So it's starting to pick up a little bit. But I'll just show you the sleeping bag now, the Lyng, and I'll show you how lofty it is. Jeez. And also what it does and the differences. If you haven't seen the bag before, there's a few. Get inside. Jesus, there's a few. That's more than 22. There's a few videos out there on this Lyng sleeping bag, but I'll show you just in case you haven't seen it. Just come back outside so you can get a view of it. So you can see this hasn't fully lofted up, but even so, it's still really thick and lofty. It is a centre zip bag, which I really like. I always struggle to find the zip and remember which side it's on. It's got nice big pull toggles on it, so if you've got gloves on, you can get hold of them nice and easily. It's also got 2 arm zips as well, so you can, when you're inside the bag, either unzip those for extra ventilation or get your arms out and sit there using the phone or doing whatever you want to do, working inside the tent without having to totally unzip the bag and take it off of you, which some people will see as a bit of a gimmick, but I think in real life usage in the cold, that is a really good option. What's possibly a bit more of a gimmick is obviously it's got a 2-way zip, so you can open up the bottom here. What you can do is you can put your legs out, and then on the back of the bag here there is 2 toggles which connect to toggles here, so it folds up behind your legs and you can walk around like a walking sleeping bag. Just before I get in, I'll show you inside. Obviously it's a box baffle construction, so it's not stitched through, hence it's incredibly warm. It has a neck collar here, So you unpop that and it goes around your neck, so that stops any heat loss out the top if you've got it open. There are baffles down the side here to cover the zips, and there's even little baffles that are along the zips at the side as well. So you know you don't lose any heat, but you can vent if you want to. There is a little pocket inside here, which people say keep your electrics in. I have mine charged overnight, so I tend not to do that. But weirdly, at the bottom of the bag here, there is a large pocket which is velcroed, so you can put stuff in here, put your spare clothes or whatever in here to keep them warm. And right inside the footbox, inside, there's another little bag now, or a pocket. Now they say that that is for putting in damp clothes, so maybe if you've got damp socks or whatever, that's down by your feet, covered in, and then your body warms it up and dries it out for the morning. I'm not 100% sure I'm putting wet gear inside a sleeping bag. As I say, it's DWR water repellent down, so it should be good, but I think anything you want to do to avoid getting it wet, it's going to be a good thing. Hello there. This is what I mean about these arm holes. It's just quite handy if you, it's warm in here, if you want to stay warm on your body, your core, and still be able to get out and do things like I might want to have a drink of water or check my phone or whatever. I haven't got to unzip the bag, take it off my shoulders, get my arms out to then do that. So yeah, what I sort of thought was a bit of a gimmick, it's actually really, really good. Now my pillow, I said this before, I use the Flex Towel pillow, but you see the size of this thing, right? I put my down jacket inside it, and then I inflate the bladder up behind it, so you get a much thicker pillow. I need head support, and also it's down against your head as well, so rather than a solid inflatable pillow. Now I've just tried this inside here. I think I just about fit. I think it's alright. Let me show you. Okay, my big fat pillow is in. This is on my head. These zips have got this very thick, heavy duty webbing on the inside of them, and they just do not catch. I have zipped this up and down with absolutely no issues. It's a really, really good design, and again, over-engineered. Well, ow! Got my beard! There is actually a little toggle at the top. So there's a cover for the zip, so when it's done up fully, it's only because I've got my head out talking to you. So, in the bag, the top is just about touching, and my feet are only just touching. But this is a massive bag. If I had my quilt on, I'd have no issues, because I just have a beanie hat on. It's minus 20 warm. So yeah, this bag is really, it's comfortable, it's spacious, the footbox is big, I don't feel restricted. I love the centre zip, the little features that are on it. Again, I say it's over-engineered, but it's good. And yeah, it weighs like 1.8 kilos, but it packs full enough to fit into my 45 litre bag with a large tent in it as well, so I have no issues with that. This sleep bag is so firm and comfortable. If I put, and I'm pushing down with my body weight on my hand, my elbow, I can just feel the floor there. That will never happen. If I just lean on my elbow and on my hip, full weight, I can't feel the floor. I'm nowhere near it. I'm probably not even 50% down on the mat. This is a really, really comfortable mat. I'm impressed with it. So it's not the lightest of mats, but it's $119, and it packs really, really small. Smaller than my Thermarest. It's smaller than the FlexStyle R09 that I've got. It hasn't got as high a rating on the R value, but it's really comfy. I think value for money wise, it's a cracking mat. I like the colour as well, stealthy brown. This is the reason why I prefer waterproof zips to storm flaps. There's a storm flap on each door, so obviously whichever way the wind blows, it's going to blow into one of the storm flaps. And when it's windy, you just get
that noise. That's really annoying because the tent is solid in the wind. You know, it's pushing mid-20s. There's not a problem for the wind, for the tent at all, but the storm flap is just flapping. Is that going to annoy the crap out of me? Right, well, the rain is well and truly hammering it down now. I've basically just been chilling out here in my lovely warm sleeping bag and on this really comfortable mat for about the last 2 hours. So it's got dark, and I've been waiting for it to get dark for a reason. This bag is so warm. It is lovely. I can never be too warm. I did go out earlier on to go to the toilet, and the wind chill, it's down to nearly 0. It's just above 0 degrees, so it's pretty cold. Yeah, not anywhere near the limits that this bag can take. But yeah, the bag and the sleep mat is incredibly comfortable. Especially the mat is, yeah, I think it's a major bargain for what it is. But obviously I'm going to test this out through the night and give you my verdict on both the bag and the mat in the morning. And one of the reasons why I've been waiting for it to get dark is because I wanted to show you a new torch as well. There's this Woburn X2 Pro which has come out. Really cool little torch. It's got a little belt clip on one side, I don't know if you can see that there. But it's got this stepless roller dial for the light. So you've got a lockout switch there, that's off. That one is the side light. So you've got a side light on here, and then if you slide it all the way to the top, it goes the main light. So it goes up to 1500 lumens. The side light, if you put it on there, it's got a magnetic base as well, so you can attach it to something and use it as a generic light. But you've got a side light here which you can angle as well, so you can tilt this, and then you've got a scroll wheel, so you turn it. That's at its lowest, and it goes up and up. Flashes when it gets to maximum. It's a pretty bright little light. I think it's 400 lumens, this one. But also, if you press and hold it, on the same one, it then changes to a coloured light, and you've got an RGB light on here, so you can scroll through different colour options: blue, yellow, green, red, whatever you want. Pink. I know someone would like that. And if you double press it, it then flashes on that colour. So you've got like a flashing beacon. And if you double press it, it goes to, when it's off, like a police light. So you've got blue and red. Stick it in the dashboard of your car, wind people up, and if you slide the lever to the top button, it then puts on the main torch at the top. If you scroll the wheel, it goes from like a flood or a spotlight first off, and then you scroll through, and it goes through. You've got 4 different lights on the front of it. You can't see them changing. Annoyingly, I was going to show you outside, to show you how bright it is. It's got about a 200 metre range apparently. Again, not too sure on that. It might do on a very clear night. But if you double press it, it then goes on to turbo. So you've got 1500 lumens in, which is pretty bright, especially inside a tent. At the moment it's only available on Amazon non-UK, but you can order it on there. But it's about $45 instead of, I think, 70, so it's at a discount at the moment. So if you do want it, I'll put a link in the description below. But you know me and my torches, I like playing with them. But this is pretty good. It's just nice to be able to control not only the brightness, but then you can control the colour as well. Anyway, I'm going to get some food on in a minute. I won't do any more filming because this is about the tent that's doing alright at the moment. It's taking a good battering. The wind's definitely picked up a bit. And also this sleeping mat and the sleep bag. So I'll come back in the morning and I'll tell you my final thoughts on them and what I think, pros and cons.
morning. Oh, proper coffee. Now, when I was talking about my pack size earlier on and getting all my gear in it, I've even managed to fit an espresso coffee pump machine. This is the NS2, the mini presso, so it's absolutely tiny. Comes in a little bag. Just great for sticking. It's not light. It's a hefty weight, but really good. And there's another reason why I brought that. I got it from AliExpress, and there's some things going on in AliExpress which you might be interested in, and probably my next video. I was going to tell you about a new system they've got in process or in place, which basically anyone who sort of buys stuff from AliExpress or is looking at starting camping and wants some cheap gear, people look at AliExpress as being a cheap Chinese website. It's effectively the Chinese version of Amazon, and on Amazon you can buy some absolute cheap tat and rubbish, and you can also buy branded decent gear, and it's the same with AliExpress. Hence I got my Nespresso on there. But they're bringing out a new program which is financially beneficial to people who do teams, and I'll tell you about it on my next video. Just thought I'd bring that along and make myself a decent coffee. So cheers. So my thoughts on this insanely warm bag and the sleep mat. So first off, the sleep mat, really impressed. It didn't deflate at all last night. I find the majority of them tend to go down a little bit, and that may be temperature related. This is kept solid and firm all night long, incredibly comfortable. I never found any point whatsoever when I was not slap bang in the middle of it. When I moved around, I always seem to be in the middle. It's so wide. It's just a nice, comfortable, good sized mat. And I think for the tiny pack size, the budget, $119, and the fact that it is a 7R value mat, so it will do most people through winter. This is an absolute bargain. I really recommend it. It's a good mat. I know I said that about the flex tail. People are going to go, "Oh, you recommend everything," but it's like anything, isn't it? You buy something that's really good, and then something else comes out and that's really good as well. It's not to say either of them or one is better than the other, but they're both good. But this is a good mat. The sleeping bag, I think for the first time ever in my camping life, I took my socks off. My feet were actually too hot. I never get even warm feet. My feet are always freezing, and I took my socks off last night. It was just so warm. As I said, temperatures got down to about 1 degree last night, or just above freezing. I had the vents open front and rear on the tent. I had the door mesh vent open 3/4 of the way down. I was absolutely boiling. All I had on was my boxer shorts, nothing else. I took my thermal top off, so I was literally just in my boxer shorts, and I was absolutely roasting. It was so warm. It's overkill for this weather, obviously. But as I said before, I don't think you can be too warm. I can't. I like my warmth. Now, obviously, if you want to buy any of this stuff, it's available through Nortent. There is no affiliate links or anything like that for them. So if you I'll put a link for the Nortent company below if you want to go straight to their website. But yeah, the gear, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this tent, and I think this is going to work. It's close end to end without the big hood on this sleeping bag over my head. My feet were just brushing the bottom, my head was just clear at the top. And I think that's doable. The Vern 1 may be the tent for me. Anyway, I'm going to get on with my Nespresso now. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, hit the thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you on the next one.